Are you a content creator? Stop what you're doing right now. Ever feel like your social media content is all over the place? Trying to juggle Instagram, TikTok, YouTube without losing your mind? Trust me, I've been there. But what if I told you there's a tool that can help you plan everything all in one place, keep you organized, save you a ton of time? Well, stick around because I'm going to show you how I use Notion to make my social media game even stronger. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick Russell, and this week I want to talk about using Notion as a one-stop shop to creating all of your content, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Reels, long-term videos. Doesn't matter. I do all of that in Notion. But before I get into that, you can't just start creating content and putting it out there without having a clear plan in place. So before we talk about Notion and using that to create content, I want to dive into having a plan and how that's going to help you create content and grow your personal brand or your business online. So the first thing I want to talk about is you need to have a clear vision for what you're going to be putting out online. This is how you're going to communicate with your audience. That could be long form videos, short form videos, text images on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Threads. Now, as you're doing that, you have to ask yourself, are you going to educate? Do you just want to entertain your audience and be funny? Are you there to sell a product or a service? Having that clear foundation is fundamental in growing your brand online. Now, next up, you need to have clear goals in mind. Now, are you looking to drive engagement? Are you looking to grow your followings? Are you looking to increase and drive sales? Drive traffic to a website? You need to have a goal in mind before you start creating content. Defining those goals first is going to be game-changing in how you create content and how you get better each and every time you create more content. Now, like this video talked about at the beginning, you need to have a content calendar. You can't just wing it and start putting content out there at a whim. You need to have a plan in place and a content calendar to organize all of your thoughts, your ideas, your posts, so you know when you're posting. But we'll dive into that in a little bit when I get into how I use Notion to plan out all of my content. Next up, you need to know who your audience is. You can't just market to everybody and hope to nab a few sales or get a little bit of engagement. You have to know exactly who your audience is so you know who you're creating content for. Like, what are your audience's pain points? Are you selling a coaching program that's going to help this certain group out? Are you selling a product that's meant for this group? Where's your audience hanging out? Where are they congregating? Something Russell Brunson talks about in Expert Secrets is knowing where your audience is online. For him, in college, he was a wrestler. So he hung out in wrestling forums, wrestling groups, like wrestling Facebook groups. And that's where his audience was. So if he had a product that was geared towards wrestlers, that's where he would start selling that product. And this brings us to what platforms are they on? Where's your audience hanging out? Now, is it Facebook? Are you looking to engage with a more professional audience? So something like LinkedIn? Are you looking to have fun and look at all the trends? Are they on TikTok or maybe a blog or a podcast? Knowing where your audience is a huge thing you need to learn before you start creating content. Now, one of the biggest things that Russell talks about, and something that helped me very early on, is actually creating your dream customer's avatar. And this helps you know exactly who you're targeting your marketing towards. And it's simple. Russell talks about this in .com Secrets, where he actually printed out a little form and he keeps it near his desk, and it shows an image and exactly who his dream customer is. Now here's how you can do that for yourself. So think about who your dream customer is. Give them a name. Are they male? Are they female? What are their favorite foods, hobbies, anything you can think of. Think about what your dream customer is. Write all of that down. Now, once you have all of that, what are your dream customers' pain points? What are you trying to help them with? What problem do they have that you're going to solve? Now, take all of that information, type as much of it as you can into a Google search, and using the image search, find an image that closely matches that image you've already pictured in your mind and print that out. Print that image with all of the information out on a single piece of paper, print it out, and there you go. That's your dream customer. Now that you have the avatar, you're ready to start marketing to your dream audience. All right, so now we briefly went over the fundamentals on how to start before you create content. Let's dive into the content calendar and show you exactly how I plan out all of my content using Notion. Okay, so let's dive into the content planning hub. Now, first I have a hub page where it has all of the different pages for different platforms to plan out all of your content, as well as a calendar that you can easily view all of your social media content that's going out, your short form videos like TikToks, Reels, Shorts, your YouTube videos, and any sales funnels that you have. I've added that in there because I like creating funnels and selling different products, so I have that in here as well. Now, one of the most important things and something that I use often is my planning inbox. Now, like I've talked about in my second brain video, is I have a widget on my home screen and I could easily change which Notion template that goes to. So if I have any ideas or anything that has to do with scripts or research, any ideas that I come up with really quick on the go, I add to this inbox. And on the widget, it'll just give you a quick title as well as a little note. But what that'll do is it'll give you a title here, and it'll give me the note or idea that I have here, or you could just come on your desktop and type it out there. You can, after you're done, you can add a tag to it. You can add a time, a due date to it if you need, and then it shows you the created time and last edited. So this is a one-stop shop to collect all of your ideas for content planning. Now, backing out of here, we get into actually planning out our content. Now, this is for all of the social media posts. What I've done is I've added a collection of hashtags. So as you're doing different research for different platforms, you can have all of your hashtag ideas here. Maybe groups of 5, 10 hashtags. You can have Facebook, Instagram, specific topics. So if it's just for entrepreneurship, just for content calendars, whatever kind of content you're creating, you can have your hashtags here. Especially if you're creating posts on a weekly basis, it's easy to grab all of your hashtags in one spot. Now, as far as creating the content, start a new page. You can have the post, the date, which platform it's going on, when it's going to get posted. So put a time in here, the caption for the post, having the video file, the image name. So for me, I use Google Drive, and I have everything stored into one folder as I'm creating it, and then move it into another when I'm finished. But so I know for when I'm scheduling, I put the file name right in here. If you have the paid version of Notion, you can actually upload the file here and do everything right from here. Now, when I talked about having the grouping of 5 hashtags here, for say Instagram, you can have up to 30 hashtags in your post. So that's where I'm going to take all the different collections of hashtags that'll work with this certain post and then put the 30 I'm going to use right in here. If there's a URL or you want to send them to a website, you can have that there. Mark it finished and have the status. So if you're creating it, if you send it to a client for review, it's out scheduled, it's done and posted. So it keeps you up to date. If you're creating content and want to do research on the fly, a section for notes right there. Now the other really cool thing is I have both the table view, I have a view of all of your content listed, and you could have that sorted. If you want, you can sort that by, say, your date, and then you can have that sort ascending. You can actually have it sort by the posting time. Whatever the case may be, you can sort that however you like. And also a specific calendar view. So just like the hub, you're going to view all of your social media content. Now we'll dive into the shorts and the reels. This is a little bit more in depth than what the social media one was, but we have a video caption, which niche that's in, the status again, if you're researching, if you're creating a script or copy, filming, editing, waiting for it to be uploaded. If you don't schedule it in the TikTok Studio, for example, you can have marked as in your drafts, and then when you schedule it, you can have it published. Or when you publish it, you can mark it published already. But if you have it in your drafts, that's where having the date and then adding a reminder. So include a time and remind at time. That way Notion will remind you, it'll give you a notification. Then you can go into your drafts and upload it right then and there. So that's the TikTok reel planning. Now, even more in depth than that is your YouTube videos. Now with the YouTube videos, I have just your normal database view, but I also have a project status view. So you can drag each project along as they go. So if we're creating a new YouTube video, I like to have all of my YouTube videos numbered. For example, this one was in 2024, 10 for October, and then whatever video number, if this is the 56th video, the 57th video, whatever the case may be, I have the number of videos that I've made, so I can easily recall any video I need. Now, if you will have a tag for your video, what niche, once again, the status of the video. Now, if you have any sponsors, you can have who the sponsor is so it can be visible really easy. When do you plan on publishing that video? And then when you're done, having the video link. Now, getting into the planning of it, I've created a little checklist. So you want to make sure you have the hook, title, and headline first, at least an idea for the thumbnail. Write out your caption, your video number, and cover. So put a cover to this page. That's something you could take out. But also your niche. Who is this targeted towards? Something we talked about earlier. If you have the sponsor information, we'll get to that in 2 seconds. Your published dates, any notes, your script's finished, all of that. Check all that off as you go along. And then as you plan, all of your ideas for your titles, your hooks, your headlines, your caption, and your sponsor. So the call to action that you want to give, if they give you a specific script in your CTA, you can put that here and your URL. And then all of your research and then your script. When you script, it has an easy to use template. So your hook and intro, the body, and then you can just keep adding on new pages if you want more parts to the body, and then drag your call to action to the bottom. As you write all this out, what clip are you going to use? So intro clip, clip about this, screen recording, have all of the clip names in here. So when you're editing, you know exactly what you're going to do. And lastly, when you're done, I have a film schedule. So you can plan out when you're going to film the bulk of your video, when you're going to do the B-roll shots, whatever the case may be. You can fill all of this out and have a full schedule of each and all of your videos. So that's the YouTube planning. Now, I have a newsletter plan. So if you're one that likes to make email newsletters, whether that's a monthly, a weekly, or even a daily Seinfeld sequence, you can easily plan that out right here. So like my YouTube videos, the number, your niche, so on and so forth. I like to have 3 topics in my video. You can change this up however you see fit by adding a property, adding different text, but write your topic out, and when that's done, check it off, second, third, and any notes you can add down at the bottom. Pretty simple for that. And as far as the funnel planning goes, simply go in here, and I have your project status and calendar view for this one. Once I click new, your subdomain name for that funnel. So if you have a website, funnelbuilding.com/content calendar. So as you're planning out funnel, content calendar, what the status of your video is, who your target audience is, the funnel number, published date, your headlines, your subheadlines, your research and planning notes, so you can have your copy, and then plan out each step and phase of the funnel. So you could have, if you're going to do each phase, you can have plan out in here just your squeeze page or your landing page, your upsells, your downsells, your sales pages, your thank you page. Everything can be planned out right with this database. And that's it. That is my content planning hub and how I use Notion to plan out all of my content. Now, if you're serious about getting organized and upping your social media game, I highly recommend checking out this very template, and I have that linked in the description below. So that's the video for this week, talking about how I use Notion and keep organized with all of my social media content. So with that said, we'll chat with you next week.